Let us discuss about the physiology of olfaction, that is smell. So olfaction, some of the general points. About 220 million receptors in dog, then humans, only 5 millions. In human, only 5 millions. And other domestic animals also, the main source of the sensation is very important for their searching of food and identification of the toxic substances. So as compared in dog have millions more receptors, much more than human. And also the olfactory mucosa occupies about 100 centimeter in dogs as compared to humans. Humans, it is about 5 centimeters square. The sensory neuron or the olfactory neuron, that is cranial nerve 1 in olfactory mucosa are bipolar neurons. The end part of dendrites expand and form olfactory node. And this olfactory node give rise to 10 to 20 cilia in the surface of olfactory mucosa. Pre-from cortex, pre-from lobe in the cerebrum, that part is also called renencephalon, is responsible for odor or smell discrimination. Renencephalon, it is res means nose, and encephalos means brain. That is small smell brain or olfactory brain that is involved in the discrimination of or analysis of smell. So olfactory signal do not directly project to the thalamus. So many of the sensory neurons, they go through the thalamus, and from the thalamus it relay to the different parts of the cerebral cortex. So olfactory signal projects to non-olfactory portion of the brain like limbic system, involvement of emotion. So olfactory signal not only goes to its own center like prefrontal lobe, but it also sends signal to the hypothalamus or limbic system, amygdala, hippocampus. So smell also related with the emotions. So let us see the sequence, how the odor molecule stimulate the sensory epithelium and it goes to the center cortex, cerebral cortex or cerebrum, and we can able to smell it. First, the odorant molecule from the environment, it have to enter and dissolve in the mucus, in the nasal cavity or the fluid. So this fluid and mucus are secreted by the olfactory gland that is found in the olfactory epithelium. And those glands are known as Bowman's gland. So when the odorant molecule bind with the mucus, then it will bind with the olfactory receptor or bind with the olfactory binding protein, which is present in the ciliary cell of the olfactory neuron. So then the sensory neurons are stimulated, and there is also cranial nerve 1. And this, when the dendritic end, the cilia are stimulated or send signal or depolarization of the membranes occurs, and then it brings to the cell body. From the cell body, the axons are fired, and many axons from many cell bodies, they come together and form a group of axon, and that is called many axon comes together and form a fascicle, and this is called filia olfactoria. I will show in the diagram. Then they will synapse with the mitral cells and tufted cell at olfactory bulb, and that structure is called glomerulus. It is nothing but the synapses. Then those neurons, second order neuron, they form the olfactory tract, and those olfactory tract takes information to the prefrontal lobe and where the odor discrimination occurs. And this olfactory tract not only prefrontal lobe but other parts of the brain also they send the signal. So this is about the flow chart, how we is able to smell it. So let us see how the cilia is stimulated. So in this first diagram, this is a bipolar neuron, and the dendrite, this is the dendrite and dendritic end, they form the knob, and from the node, the cilia will comes out over the surface of the olfactory epithelium, and this cilia have the odorant binding protein or the receptor where the odorant molecule bind with these receptors. So this is the bipolar neuron, and these cilia are replaced every 6 to 8 weeks interval. Every 6 to 8 weeks interval, this cilia. So how these cilia are stimulated or depolarization occurs in the cell. When the odorant molecule bind with the odorant receptor protein present in the cilia of the sensory neuron, olfactory neuron, this after binding with the receptor, they stimulate the G protein. Here, G olf means olfactory protein. When they bind with the receptor, this G protein they convert the ATP into cyclic AMP. So G protein they activate the adenyl cyclase. First thing, G protein after binding with the molecule, odorant molecule, they stimulate the adenyl cyclase, and this adenyl cyclase convert the ATP to cyclic AMP, and this is cyclic AMP, the second messenger in the cell. So when this accumulation of cyclic AMP due to the activation of adenyl cyclase, this cyclic AMP activate the opening of the calcium channel. So as soon as calcium channels are open, calcium comes inside the cilia. And when the calcium come inside the cilia, this calcium trigger the chloride channel in the membrane of the cilia, chloride channel, and the chloride will leave from the cell, leave from the cilia, from the lumen to the mucus. This part is the mucus. So when as the chloride moves away from the cilia and the cell is depolarized, this cilia is depolarized, membrane depolarization occurs, and this membrane depolarization it takes to the cell body, and through the axon it goes to the cerebral cortex. So second messenger cyclic AMP trigger the calcium channel opening, calcium come inside, and this calcium trigger chloride channel, chloride leave from the this lumen of the cilia. So this is how this cilia are activated. And there is another mechanism. After binding, when the odorant molecule bind with its receptor, it may activate the phospholipase C and generate IP3. This is also second messenger, and thus there is opening of the calcium channel, and then cell is depolarized. So after depolarizing the cell, this bipolar neuron that takes axon potential will generate and takes the axon potential to the olfactory bulb. In the next slide, I will show what are the structure in the olfactory nerve, olfactory bulb. And from the olfactory bulb, they form the tract, and this tract they will takes a signal to the prefrontal lobe where the smell discrimination occurs. And this tract not only goes to the prefrontal lobe, ipsilateral, same side, but it some very few fibers may go to the contralateral, means opposite side of the opposite part of the prefrontal lobe. And also apart from the prefrontal lobe, this signal also sent other parts of the cortex like limbic system or hippocampus. So let us see what are the structure we can find in olfactory bulb after stimulating, after binding with the odorant molecule and depolarization, and how what type of synapse we can find in the olfactory bulb. So this is the olfactory bulb, and this is our olfactory epithelium, and this black color, it is the nerve, sensory nerve, olfactory nerve. At the end of this is a synaptic node. We have the cilia, which is focus. For example, these are the cilia where the odorant receptors are present. So these are the cilia coming out from the olfactory nerve, from the dendrite node. Okay. So when this cilia bind with the receptor, the sensory neurons are stimulated, and the axon from different cell body, olfactory cell, this axon will come together and form a bundles of axon, that is a fascicle, and this is called filia olfactoria. And this filia olfactoria goes and synapse with the mitral cell and tufted cell in the glomerulus. They form the glomerulus, tufted cell, mitral cell, and the sensory olfactory cells. So I will show this area in my previous slide. So here, this olfactory epithelium, we have the epithelial cell as well as the Bowman's cell, where they will release the mucus in this area. So what are the structure we can find in olfactory bulb? How the synapse occur in this olfactory bulb, we will see in the next slide. So these are we have, this is olfactory epithelium and the cilia, and these cilia are present in the mucus layer of the nasal cavity. These mucus are secreted by the Bowman's capsule. So when these neurons are stimulated, they form the filia olfactoria, and this filia olfactoria, they will synapse with the mitral cell. These are the mitral cell. So in the previous slide, it is not very clear, but because so many structures are present. So in this structure, this olfactory neuron, they'll synapse with the mitral cell. These are the dendrites of the mitral cell. And as they synapse with the mitral cell, and this structure, this whole structure, it is called glomerulus. So this is about how the mitral cell synapse, and this mitral cell takes the information and form the olfactory tract and gives information to the piriform lobe, and then we can smell it. So we can identify the odorant molecule. So in this structure glomerulus, we can find two more cells, a tufted cell and the granule cells. So let us see those cells also. So this is the glomerulus. We have the mitral cell, this sensory neuron from the mucus. They will bind with the odorant molecule, takes information from the filia olfactoria, and this information are converged and synapse with mitral cell. This whole informations are converged to a mitral cell and takes information to the olfactory from the olfactory tract and to the piriform lobe. So here also we can see one more neuron. These are called granule cell. This granule cell, they synapse with the dendritic end of mitral cell, and another end they will release the inhibitory neurotransmitter in the same cell. So when the neurons are excited, so this excited neuron stimulate the mitral cell. So this granule cell, they release the inhibitory neurotransmitter. Therefore, the weak informations or weak impulses, it cannot carry by the mitral cell. Only the overexcited or excited cell, highly excited cells, information will carry by the mitral cells. But the low excited cell, information will be inhibited by this granule cell. So the highly excited neurons which synapse with the mitral cell, those information will takes through the mitral cell to the piriform lobe. And these granule cells also controlled by the motor system, which is coming out from the cerebral cortex, and that motor system can inhibit the this granule cell, so that all the information can go through the mitral cell. So the this granule cell also controlled by the higher center. So this is we can find in the glomerulus, mitral cell. In the previous slide also we have talked. Here these are granule cell that can inhibit the some of the information. And in this structure also we can find tufted cell. This tufted cell, I have drawn here one tufted cell and two glomerulus. So this is the sensory neuron. So one tufted cell can synapse with the many olfactory neurons. So here all the information are also converged into one tufted cell and takes information to the central higher centers. So here the tufted cell is not very significant, but this one tufted cell can synapse with the many sensory neuron or the many glomeruli. So these are the structure we can find in olfactory neuron. This is structure. All this glomerulus is nothing but the synapse of the mitral cell and the tufted cell, and also we can find the granule cell. So anosmia and hyposmia. Anosmia means lack of smell. Hyposmia means reduced ability to smell. This might be due to severe inflammation of the olfactory mucosa, bilateral region of the olfactory nerve, damage to the olfactory mucosa, or in viral infection. So let us see, self-evaluate ourselves, whatever we have learned just now. This question I have taken, this is from Duke's Physiology 13 edition. So let us see, the olfactory nerve fiber terminates in the olfactory bulb and they form the glomerulus. So odorant bind to the receptor on the cilia of the olfactory cell in the olfactory epithelium, surface of the olfactory epithelium. And these ciliary cells are replaced by every 6 to 8 weeks. So odorant receptor protein is coupled to G protein. It is true. So membrane depolarization of olfactory cell is triggered by calcium gated chloride channel. When the chloride is released from the lumen of the cilia, then the membrane depolarization also. So this is very unique for the olfactory sensory neuron because they maintain the high level of or high intracellular chloride concentration. But in case of other neurons, we can see more chloride extracellular than intracellular. And in sensory neuron, we can see in different. Intracellular chloride ion is more, and they maintain this high concentration of chloride ion. And this is important for continuous stimulation of the sensory ciliary stimulation. So this is about the mucus. When odorant molecule binds with the receptor, formation of the cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP cause opening of the calcium channel. Calcium activate the chloride channel. Chloride leave from the cell, and this membrane is depolarized, the cilia of the sensory neuron. So let us see what function, why the ciliary lumen of the cilia is very high concentration of chloride. So this neuron, olfactory sensory neuron, they have sodium, potassium, and calcium co-transporter, and due to this transporter in the membrane of the cilia, they bring chloride inside the cilia and increasing its concentration. And on the other hand, this neuron does not express the KCC2. This is the transporter for the chloride extrusion co-transporter. So because of the absence of this transporter in the membrane of the cilia, so the chloride cannot go out from the neuron. So until and unless calcium trigger the calcium sensitive chloride channel. So that is because of the presence of this co-transporter and the absent or because they do not express the calcium extrusion co-transporter, and because of that calcium is chloride is increased intracellularly. And this function, they are very active sodium potassium chloride cotransporter during the unstimulated charged cilia, where the cilia are pumped with chloride and cause increased intracellular chloride concentration. But when this the cilia bind with the odorant molecule, then the calcium comes and activate the chloride release from the chloride channel, and the cell is depolarized. The membrane is depolarized, and because of that, the cilia, whenever the molecule bind with the cilia, they cause release of the chloride ion, and the cell membrane depolarized. So this is it is quite unique in sensory neuron. Olfactory sensory neuron we can find in the olfactory sensory neuron having high intracellular chloride concentration. Okay. So olfactory sensory cilia replace every 6 to 8 weeks duration, and these cilia are directly exposed to the external environment in the surface of the epithelial olfactory epithelium. So this is about for olfaction. Okay, thank you.